And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service on this Thursday, April 18th, 2024. And if you'd like additional weather information, you can always go to weather.gov. I bring this up because this is the Weather Service's primary online site to get a lot of important weather information. It'll bring you to a map of the continental U.S. with Hawaii and Alaska to the lower left. And you point and click anywhere on these maps, it'll pull up a very specific forecast for a small gridded area, and it'll also have any relevant watches, warnings, or advisories. And of note, on this Thursday afternoon, we have severe thunderstorm watches from southern Illinois across southeast Missouri down into Texas. And there have been a number of tornado warnings near and just east of St. Louis as a result of a squall line producing damaging winds and some isolated tornadoes. On the backside of the system, these are frost advisories and freeze warnings where skies will be clearing out, cold temperatures that could harm early spring vegetation, and then wind advisories across North Dakota, parts of Montana. Here in Alaska, we have an atmospheric river shoving a bunch of moisture on up along the western Gulf, across Kodiak Island and the north end of the Alaska Peninsula. There has been a flood advisory just issued for Kodiak Island, especially in the vicinity of Kodiak City. Heavy rainfall. Already around 4 inches of rain has fallen in the past 48 hours. There have been a couple of minor landslides reported, and that threat will persist as we go through tonight and into the day on Friday. And a flood watch also that's been issued that will continue into early Saturday morning. Snow and wind with near blizzard conditions continue Toksook Bay and eastern Aleutians for tonight into early Friday. Areas of the Panhandle, central and eastern interior, and are enjoying some sunny skies and just beautiful spring weather. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. I'll tell you more about some of those temperatures. And this high pressure that's responsible for the warm temperatures and clear skies over the Panhandle and eastern mainland along the Alcan border is going to hold through at least Saturday. So here, a few of the webcams from across the state. So Toksook Bay, snow and blowing snow. I've had blizzard conditions at times. That blizzard warning will continue into early Friday morning. Temperature only 18 there. Dutch Harbor, snow and wind, 30 degrees. Already at least 5-6 inches of snow falling with additional snowfall and at times near blizzard conditions. Kodiak, rain and fog, moderate rain, heavy rain. So there's been 4 inches of rainfall in the past couple of days with perhaps another 1.5 to 3 inches coming for tonight through early Saturday. What's unusual is normally this is the dry time of year, so this rainfall is unusually heavy for the time of year. It's not unusually heavy for Kodiak, but nevertheless there could be some minor flooding and a concern along some of the steeper terrain. There could be some landslides as a result of that soil being saturated. Look at Sitka. Sunny and warm, 64 as of mid-afternoon. Klawak has been today already up to 66 degrees through mid-afternoon under sunny skies and similar conditions. And that warm weather will continue across the Panhandle through the end of this week and likely through Saturday. So this is what we have now in terms of various watch warnings and advisories. So of newer concern, flood watch for especially you're getting a southeast wind, so the upslope flow along that moist upslope flow along the mountains here of the lower, as you go down along the Alaska Range, Iliamna region. As you get down along here, these coastal mountains, Shelikof Strait, could experience some flooding. Kodiak Island, as I mentioned, another maybe 2-3 inches of rain could fall through early Saturday. We have a flood advisory for Kodiak City, so just be aware of that. We still have a blizzard warning out here for the area north end of Kuskokwim Bay and including Nunavik Island. That will continue into early Friday as a winter weather advisory for the eastern Aleutians on Alaska, Nikolsky, through tonight into early Friday. So again, still wintry with snow and blowing snow in those areas because we have low pressure that's just kind of sitting here right now, causing these problems, and this atmospheric river goes all the way back down to subtropical regions. It's tapping into that moisture well west of the continental U.S. And then here in the Alaska Range, still wind advisory for some strong gusty southeast to south winds that could be 50, 60 miles an hour into tonight and early on Friday morning. And this is Flood Safety Awareness Week, and I want to point out one of the historic floods in Alaska history. So this is an August flood in 1967 on the Chena River, and it was the most damaging flood in Alaska history. At least 12,000 people had to be evacuated. There were at least 6 fatalities. Damage in 1967 dollars was in excess of $85 million. And Fairbanks and Nenana were declared national disaster areas. And this was the event that prompted the construction of the Chena River Lakes project, including the Moose Creek Dam and the Tanana River Levee. And it also led to the creation of the Alaska Pacific River Forecast Center that does so much of our flood forecasting that's part of the National Weather Service. It's a specialized branch of the Weather Service that deals specifically in hydrology and flood-related issues, especially to rivers. So here we have a flow of moisture this afternoon. Look at this. It's just continuing from around Kodiak Island up to the entrance of Cook Inlet. This moisture plume extends all the way down to near subtropical latitudes well west of the continental U.S. So that's what's keeping this feed of moisture coming into this region, and that's why we have the flood watch and then the flood advisory for Kodiak City, because there could be some minor flooding here over the next day or so, and still want to keep a close eye on those potential for any landslides, especially in that steeper terrain that's just west of town. Now, we're seeing still a fair amount of clouds here across areas of the Alaska Range up into the interior, but where there is sun along the Alcan border, this area, the Copper River Basin, a lot of melting going on too of the snow, and it looks like water levels are coming up there around Glen Ellen, so keep that in mind, because last year we had the snow melt that resulted in flooding over the roadways, so that may be just starting to get going, but keep that in mind. You might have to do some sandbagging as early preparation just to ward off any problems. And then here over the Panhandle, the Yakutat area, all this sunshine, very warm temperatures. Out to the west, we have more northerly winds on the backside because there's a front that lies here across the west coast. And so west of that in the colder air, definitely much colder temperatures show you on the specific map. So here we have this low that's just kind of sitting here. We had an impulse of energy ride north last night, and today that's currently crossing up through the Bering Strait. And this low isn't going to really go anywhere the next couple of days. It'll gradually sit and spin and weaken and kind of become a collection of weaker lows. This front will try to move northeastward, but also gradually weaken. The atmospheric river flow will begin to break down as we get past, say, early Saturday morning. But look at the clear skies here across northwest Canada. There's a couple areas of high pressure over northern and northwestern Canada, and it's really heating temperatures up into the 60s in some areas, so you're going to see that weather continue Friday and even into Saturday. Now, by the time we get into tonight, we have the low that's north of the area. We have the other low that just kind of sits in this region of the North Pacific with the front fairly stationary. And as we go through the day Friday, just a couple of low pressures lingering here in the north end of the North Pacific, south of the Alaska Peninsula and the Aleutians. Areas of the east central interior down through the Panhandle will continue to see sun thanks to this high pressure. And then on Saturday, just kind of a collection of weak lows that extend from southwest of Haida Gwaii and then back out here in the North Pacific, south of the Alaska Peninsula. A couple of weak lows in the Bering Sea, nothing of any real strength or bunch of wind. But this little, what's left of that stationary front is going to just kind of drift northward and fall apart Sunday into Monday. But it could spread some light showers along the Gulf Coast into the Panhandle Sunday and into the day Monday. So that would kind of temporarily put an end to the sunny skies and warmer temperatures, because this high will tend to break down a little bit, though it may try to reestablish a bit next week. So looking at temperatures above freezing, nighttime lows, a few areas could dip near freezing, colder spots, but here in the Copper River Basin, it dips below freezing at night, down into the 20s. Probably stay just above freezing or near freezing in Anchorage. And then temperatures Friday afternoon, we're going to see 50s, some 60s. A few of these readings are not warm enough for the Panhandle. I would say what you got today is going to be similar for the day Friday. And then Anchorage has a shot at hitting 50, given if there's enough sun, because I think there'll be a little more sun over this region come Friday afternoon. And then lows again Saturday morning fall below freezing, that freeze-thaw cycle with the clear skies, the Copper River Basin. But then daytime temperatures Saturday get back up above 50 in a number of spots. It can be 56 there around Talkeetna, and certainly 50s to near 60-degree readings still possible, but clouds may start to increase a little bit here late Saturday and certainly Sunday with the potential of a few light showers rolling in. Now across the central and northern mainland, nighttime temperatures are still going to get below freezing in most areas except for where there's a little thicker cloud cover and breeze holds up. But temperatures could be up near 60 degrees, Fairbanks as well as around Eagle. 50s though, again, Delta Junction on up into Yukon Flats. So this area of East Central will be quite mild. Even along the Arctic coast, temperatures have come up into the 20s, even around freezing, Wainwright, down to Point Lay. And we're looking at temperatures around Norton Sound, 35 or so, 36 there, Nome quite easily. Nighttime lows again below freezing most areas come Saturday morning and into the teens along the north slope and Arctic coast, and then temperatures again maybe not quite as warm Saturday afternoon, but still 50s to maybe an isolated 60. Temperatures continue around Norton Sound above freezing along the coastline there, and then coolest readings Saturday will be along the Arctic coast from Point Hope up to Utqiagvik, looking at some readings maybe not hitting 20 there. And for the southwest, with the cloud cover, winds holding up, temperatures stay above freezing here along the Alaska Range into the interior, but on the other side of that front, it's 20 along the Yukon Delta. Imanak and down here toward Etolin Strait, Makoriak, we expect temperatures upper teens to near 20s for lows. Even the eastern Aleutians may dip a little below freezing and stay there overnight into early Friday morning. Temperatures certainly warm along and just west of the Alaska Range either side. 54 there at McGrath. Temperatures around 40 along the Alaska Peninsula, and then 30s in the eastern Aleutians. And again, temperatures Saturday morning could be near or a bit below freezing along the Yukon Delta, lower Yukon Basin, but elsewhere most areas staying just above freezing in the mid-30s or so. And then temperatures Saturday afternoon, warmest readings upper portion of the Kuskokwim Basin, 55 at McGrath. Could see 54 around King Salmon. Highs only around 40-ish for Dutch Harbor. So here's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook as we approach the end of the month, April 24th through the 28th. Temperatures are expected to average near normal the western half of the mainland, including the northwest coast, all the way down from Utqiagvik, Kotzebue down to Dillingham and extending out along the Alaska Peninsula. But readings may likely average a bit above normal, eastern mainland and especially areas along the Elkhand border from Eagle down through Northway, Yakutat, into the northern panhandle would be the region most likely to continue to see this temperatures average above normal. Now, normally this is the driest time of year, so to have at least a slight tendency to maybe have precipitation average a bit above normal, that does not spell heavy precipitation, but looks like at least southern parts of the mainland, including the Alaska Peninsula, eastward through the Panhandle, could see temperature or precipitation average a little bit above normal here as we approach the end of April. So keep that in mind, but otherwise some areas are enjoying some fine spring weather, so get out and enjoy it.